Hey YouTube, Knifebros here, coming at you with a custom knife review from Chopper and John Fitzen over at Razor's Edge in Utah. This is the Gurca 1 and the Gurca 2. Two great knives. The Gurca 1 being the first generation knife, and this is the second generation. You might have already seen my brother's review on this one. This is going to be my review on the Gurca 2. Going to start out with the sheaths. Major difference between these two knives. This sheath is riveted together, which means you can't switch it from its original design, sitting on the left side of your body with a cross draw from your right hand. I'm a lefty, so when my brother got this knife, I was really stoked on the knife, the way it worked, the way it was designed, the functionality it can be used for, but saw the sheath was only right-handed, got kind of discouraged. But then Fitzen and Chopper blew my mind when they put screws on this new sheath. So now I can switch it from right-handed carry to left-handed carry, which it's set up for right now, meaning carry it on the right side of your body and draw with your left hand, which I really dig, and thank them for doing that. Some knife companies don't consider lefties, but I really appreciate SOG, Spyderco, and all those other companies that put lefty and righty carry on there. You know, just for us guys who, you know, don't always have the luxury of being right-handed. Now, another big difference, if you can't already see, is the knife itself. The sheaths are relatively similar in size, so I mean, that's not really a problem for me, but the knife is massive. Not that I don't like it being massive. My first criticism on the Gurca 1 was that it might not be big enough. It's a nice small concealable blade, but first off, you can't really get a grip on that when you're drawing it out of your sheath. It's kind of not a lot to grab onto, and I thought I could, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I had one of these myself, I could work around that. But then again, my second criticism was when you're drawing it, you might cut yourself because it's such a small blade. You're really close to the cutting edge. In my normal grip right here, my finger, my index finger, is almost touching the cutting edge, and I didn't really like that. I thought if this thing was razor sharp like all John's knives are, I would eventually cut myself while pulling it out, and that's never fun. But this knife is way different. This handle is perfect. It fits perfectly when you first grab it, draw it, and then it's in the perfect position. Another difference between these two knives is this knife has jimping now and serrations. The serrations actually work really well. I really like that John put those on there for a little bit more functionality, and the jimping is really effective. This thing almost doesn't need jimping because this blade is the steel is actually pretty grippy without it. If John put a coating on there, I'm not sure, but it really doesn't need jimping, but it's always good to have jimping on a knife. Also, the paracord wrap he did is just phenomenal. It really grips on your hand, and the grip on this knife I like a lot better than this knife. Although, don't get me wrong, this is an awesome knife. I wouldn't trade this design for anything, because without this design, you wouldn't get this girl. So, yeah, really dig the size of the knife. It's really just an improvement on an already great design. Let's just compare these sizes real quick. This knife is about 8 3/4 inches. Just about. It varies. It's what, 8 and I don't know. I'm not good at measuring. 8.5 and 2 little notches. That's what I'll call it at. I'll just say 8 3/4 inches, and it seems a little on the big side when I first pulled it out of the box. I thought it might have been just a little big, but then I strapped it on my belt, and it really works out fine because it sticks out far enough off your belt that you're able to grab it, you know, without getting tangled in your shirt or whatever you might be wearing. Now, 8 3/4 inches. That's a big difference from the Gurca 1, and I think it was exactly 7 inches. And that's a whole inch and a half more. And most of that is handle. The cutting edge on both of these knives, I'm pretty sure is almost the exact same. The cutting edge, let's see if we can get this right. Yeah, it's 3 inches. Yeah, it's 3 inches. Let's try this one. Oh, this one might be a little bit smaller. This one's about 2 3/4 of an inch. So yeah, this, great design, great knife. But this knife just improves on everything this knife didn't. It is a little bit heavier. Let me grab the scale real fast. Turn it on. Alright. This knife is 4 1/8 ounces. Is that 4? No, that's 9. Yeah, wow, 4 and 9, that's a big difference. And then the sheath is 5 1/8 ounces. Together they're 14 3/8 ounces, and the whole thing on this guy is 9 7/8. So this is significantly heavier, about 4 or 5 ounces heavier. See, the knife on this one is 6 ounces, and the sheath 3 1/4. Shit. Oh, that just shows how powerful that one is. It left a hole in my wall. That's not a good thing. Oh well. That's the Gurca for you. Alright, now, where was I? Oh yeah, this knife. Great design by Chopper and John over there at Razor's Edge. A little, I don't know if this is on every knife, but it was on my knife. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a 666 engraved right there on the pommel, and that just really kind of sends out the message that this is an evil piece of weaponry, and it's gonna hurt you if it hits. While we're on the back of the knife here, you can tell there's a big difference in these two designs. You can see this knife has a more rounded edge to a point. It's still very sharp, but this has more of a triangular shape, which adds to the the point. It's almost like a Tonto tip in its design, and these edges right here are very sharp. The first day I got it, I was throwing the sheath around a little bit, and I actually drew blood because I hit my arm with the back of it hard enough, and that just shows how sharp this is. If you were to draw it and take someone out with a pommel, that guy wouldn't be getting up anytime soon at all. Another good thing about this handle, the long handle, you can choke up and drive this a lot more farther into your target. But yeah, that pommel is going to do some damage when you hit someone with it. So that's my review of the Gurca 2 and the Gurca 1. Great knife design. This knife just improves on everything this knife didn't. Still love this knife. I love how compact it is and how small it is. But then again, I love how this knife just gives you so much more comfort when you're holding it, and it's just a lot more ergonomic, I guess you would say, in its design. So that's my review on the Gurca 2. Hopefully you guys go out there and buy one for yourself. I'll put John's phone number in the description, and contact him and tell him you want a Gurca, because you won't regret it. Alright, Knifebros, see you later.